Hey guys, today I'm going to do a recap on my day trades. I traded TSLA AMC, SNOW CRM ZM, and SPY. I get the notes from awesomecallstrading.com, at AJTrader7 on Twitter. That's where the notes are from. The notes today were on SNOW CRM and Zoom. And I played it wrong today. Like, his notes were really good. They're good every day, but just a few key points that Sean brought up to me on why this happened. The spreads are wide. He didn't even want to play him because the spreads are so wide. You got to remember, these notes are, a lot of them are for options, but not all of them. And AJ, he plays shares and equities, so had I played these with shares and equities, like, it would have went fine. But I'm an options player, so I tried to play the options, and he pretty much said I kind of forced it, and I agree, after kind of processing and thinking about it, after seeing, how things kind of went wrong for me today for the morning bell. I lost 3,700 and then ended up making 6K, ended up up 23.59 for the day, so overall the day went good, but the morning bell went horribly wrong. And it wasn't because AJ's notes. His notes are amazing, and what he's taught us and what Sean's learned from being in, ACT, is priceless. What he's learned from Darkside, Yanni, and AJ. That's the main takeaway from this, and he kind of just applied what he's learned since being in there to the trades that we took today. And I'm still learning, guys. It's not like I've been doing it for 2 years, and I've definitely had a little bit of success, but not nearly as much as Sean. He's a way better trader than me. I'm not scared to admit it. He's a moderator in ACT for a reason. So I guess I'll start the recap now. So I'll tell you why this went wrong. For me, the notes are great, and you could have made a lot of money. Look, as you can see, SNOW hit the first price target for AJ upside, and you could have played that. It was a grind all the way. Like, you could have made money right there, and I just played it wrong. So it's not AJ's fault. It's 100% my fault. For trying to force the trade, basically. And yeah, that's how that went, so I'll go over that one first. That was my first trade, and then I'll go over Sean's. A lot of people are curious how he's doing this algo trading with SPY and TSLA. That wasn't on AJ's notes. I'm gonna go over AJ's morning bell plays and then go over his, so might be a lengthy video, as we did like 50 day trades today, 97 round trip, like a lot of trades today. So anyways, for SNOW, it says earnings beat, stock gapping up 16 points, do not long unless pop at the open to 300, then look for nice 7 to 10 point push to the upside, then watch for topping. If this snaps 294 at the open, bring it down 7 to 10 points on profit taking, then bottom curl bounce it. So SNOW, you could have, really the right move on this, to be honest, was like not even play this shorts covering pop right here. Like, let it fade out right here, let the stock play out, and then like right here, see it curl up and enter an upside position, like calls or equity, go long on it right here and play that curl up. That's the smarter move. And look, that's the put line. So that's when, Sean's trying to make me realize, like, you get way more gains and way more range whenever you let the stock play out, see where AJ's lines are, like, oh, this is kind of like the max downside, I guess, when you see it curl up. And when you see it curl, boom, you could take entry and ride it. Because, if you ride it from his put line all the way to, this red first max price target line, that's a lot more range, Right here is 306. At 947, you could have entered right here. And that's 292. 306 minus 292. That's 14 points. $7,000 if you would have played those options right. Even on these, SNOW, I've made money on options on those, but I just played the wrong move right here. And, you know, I couldn't really held those because of the implied volatility. Once that drops off around 8:45, like 15 minutes in, the contracts are just like, you know, like it's a really good time to sell it in the first 15 minutes because of implied volatility. But if you bought in with implied volatility, then it drops off, then the contracts are just like way off from where you're at. So, you know, I ended up basically with that trade, I lost 234 on my first trade buying 300 calls, then tried to force it again. You know, I did that at 8:30 and 8:31. Like, I really could have made money if I got a good entry and got out quick, but like, it was not working out. It just didn't work out for me. You know, I tried to get filled and it didn't fill, and you know, I talk about it. You know, if you read the description, I talk about how, you know, there's sometimes there's no liquidity. You know, you can't get rid of it. You know, no one wants it because they're anticipating. I guess the really good traders are anticipating, you know, maybe this downside move or wait for it to curl up. They were waiting for it to play out. You know, so basically I ended up taking. In 2 minutes, I sold it at a 234 loss. I tried to scalp it twice. The first time I lost, the second time I won, but overall I lost 234. Should have never got back in because then I got in on 310 calls at 8:33. And if you look right here at 8:33, look, it was already, here's 8:33. Look what it does. It had already topped out on the shorts covering, and I'm buying in with calls. So, like, yeah, I lost 1870. I cut them, you know, at 8:38 right here. I cut it. Now, look, obviously, I could have, you know, cut it for less, but at that point, I was just trying to preserve capital after taking a huge loss yesterday. Like, wasn't trying to get anywhere near 1870. And look, 234, you know, like, it didn't go well for me for Snow. So that's how that trade went. And then my next trade was CRM. That says earnings beat, gapping up 9 points. Do not long unless pop at the open to 270. Then look for nice quick 3 to 5 point push more to the upside. Then watch for topping. If this snaps 268 at the open, look for quick 3 to 5 point sell off. Then bottom curl and bounce it. So CRM is Salesforce.com. So let's see. Here's his line to go upside, 270. You know, like, I bought 270 calls at 8:35. So right here is when I bought it. It had passed it. And look, I could have made money. Like, right here, I sold it at 8:38. Right here on this candlestick. You know, so I bought it right here. And I sold it right here. And even though it's up, I somehow took a 350 loss. You know, I got shaken out. It didn't look like this. This is what it printed, but, you know, I could have made money right here. I just got shaken out. You know, these trades weren't going well for me today. So I just played it wrong. You know, like, look, it hit AJ's first price target, 273. Hit a high of 275. His second price target was 275. You know, so he called that one to a T for an upside move. I was just impatient and got shaken out. I should have held these, could have made really good money. Took a 350 loss, just cut it, and was just like, man, that didn't go well. So ZM, and it's because I don't like to hold it long, you know, and I should have, like this one, I should have held it. I got shaken out. I didn't have to lose this money. I could have just rode those, to be honest, you know. But ZM, so I bought 355 calls, you know, like right here, if it breaks 352. But like, all the spreads were so wide on all these, you know, so I bought market buy at 836, and look what it's doing. So 836, it's already up here. It's already almost at its first price target. Like, I would have had to buy in that first minute, you know, but I was trying to, you know, actually just be patient. And then I saw this big push right here, and I was like, okay, it's got more room. And I was wrong. That was already the top. You know, so like this one I would have, you know, but I didn't want to jump the gun and buy it at 8:30. I was waiting, letting it play out, but look, I ended up missing that move. But really, it was just a fader. You know, if I wanted to play the shorts covering, I would have to buy it right away and try to sell it right here within 7 minutes. You know, but it tanked, and I would have had to wait 4 minutes and then sell it on the spot. But I would have to buy it literally right at market open. So that's just a dangerous play I would never even do. You know, or I've done, but like I'm not trying to do that anymore. To be honest, it's just too risky, and that's why Mark Moses doesn't even play the first 2 minutes. You know, and had I not played the first 2 minutes yesterday, guys, wouldn't have lost $10,000 or $9,000 on Tesla. So, Mark Moses has some great points. You should definitely take his webinar and learn all those tips and tricks. The first 2 minutes are super volatile, and you can pay for it. I mean, you can make a lot of money, but like you can also pay for it. So moving on, yeah, basically the Zoom trade, I lost 1270 in 5 minutes. They were calls, like these things. It ended up fading, and you know, hit his first put side line, his second max price target's right here. You know, 341 was the max price target, 343 was the first, and you could have entered downside move when it hit 348. You know, so like kind of like an all-day fader. And look, I bought those calls with implied volatility. Like those things went worthless. So it was a good idea to cut it, and just to preserve capital and minimize the loss. But since look, I entered several trades, this added up. You know, 234 loss, 1870, 350, 1270. Like nothing was working. Usually it's like, oh, I made money on this one, and then this one was, you know, I made a loss on this one, so it was kind of a wash. Or but no, like today just didn't go my way. You know, I guess I just probability caught up to me. You know, I was due for some losses. You know, after taking some nice wins. So it is what it is. I was down 3,700. Wasn't gonna stop after that. You know, luckily, I like really don't know how many more trades I would have made. But Sean was here. You know, obviously. He told me a lot of stuff I needed to hear, you know, because of what I did in Morning Bell. You know, he made me realize a lot of mistakes that I was making, and a lot of, you know, just brought up risk versus reward, you know, just basically gave me a lot of tips and was willing to help me. You know, he's a really good trader, guys, so he's gonna come. He's not gonna come on the mic today. Like I'm making this at 12:55 a.m. It's like midnight. He's not here right now. So I had a busy day. So did he. So he had to leave, and I couldn't make this till later. And the notes took forever to make. So now it's midnight. So, but yeah, no, I'm gonna still talk about his trade, and I also wrote down. You know, this is in the description as well. All the entries. So like, if you guys want to study, so this algo trading he's doing. You know, with dark side, with his indicators on TradingView, it's like, and you know, Sean, he just signed up for dark side's class. Even, you know, he's a really good trader, but you can never stop learning. And so, you know, I'm not like, this isn't a paid promotion or an advertisement, but if you did want to join, just look up @DarksideTrader on Twitter. And you can join his class, you know, and it's a 3-year course. You know, he's not trying to get people that just want to be in there for a few months and then just quit. Like, no, he only wants like serious day traders or traders in general that, you know, wanna do it for a living and really take it serious. So, and Sean's at that level and wants to take it to the next level. And so I obviously want to join too. You know, I haven't, but it's definitely something that is on my radar. And you can only get that TradingView script if you're in his class. You can't buy it. He's not going to sell it to you. You know, it's just for his class and for his students, basically. So that's how Sean got it. And just to show you what it looks like, this is what it looks like. You know, obviously you can't get this unless you're in his class, but I remoted in and just wanted to show you at least a preview. But yeah, basically, these algo tradings, they're like Fibonacci retracements. And like Sean, he just has, it'll tell you if it's downside or upside, and he just has the knowledge to be able to tell, like, whenever it bounces off these lines, where it's going to go, and he'll just enter and exit based off these lines. So if he knows something's bullish or bearish, this chart showing downside, upside, these are just heavy support and resistance lines. So that's just kind of I'm not a teacher on all this. That's just a basic rundown of what he taught me, just so I can look at it and be able to read it. So this thing adjusts on the fly. Sean's looking at 30-second charts. He just sees where it pulls and pops and can just play the move. And if it has a little bit of range, and AJ says, oh, it's in algos, and but sometimes the algos have range, and Sean just plays it, enters, exits over and over again. And we'll go over it not on this chart, but just on the normal TD Thinkorswim chart, and you can see where he enters and exits, and you can copy and paste my notes from the YouTube and analyze it yourself. Go back on the day, and I'm gonna go over it right now, but you can see where he buys and sells and try to analyze it for yourself. And I have to do the same thing, to be honest. So I wrote down these times, so I'm gonna go over it and tell you. Yeah, basically, so he made $48.50, so almost $5,000 on these Tesla 700 puts. Then he made $13.44, so $1,300 on the 710 Tesla puts. And SPY 448 puts expiring 9/3/21, so September 3rd. He didn't buy it for this week. So it's already Friday, so which will be August 27th today trading. So it didn't expire today or tomorrow. He bought it a few days out, and those, like, he made another let's see, 740 profit, on these trades. Just, he was playing them on his account, and I was just copying what he was doing. Basically, we played them together, and basically I would enter when he would enter, and I would exit when he would exit, and you have to be fast, and you have to be really good at it. And if you do want to try, maybe try it on paper trade first, or try it with one contract, small size. Definitely proceed with caution, and check out how he's doing it. And in future videos, he's going to talk about it more. He's going to really try to think of a way to kind of put it on paper and explain it, so you guys can have a better idea. But so the first trade I'm going to go over is the Tesla 700 put. So for that one, Tesla's right here. So for this, just a recap, at 9:32 right here, 9:32 right here at this point. This is when we started trading, so at this point the market's been open for an hour, because I'm in Central Time. It opens at 8:30 for me. So right here, so this is when we started trading this. And look, so it was 10 total round trips, entry and exit, scalping from 9:32 to 10:42, so about an hour. So essentially what happened was with this, from 9:32 to 10:42, we were just riding this whole downtrend, but the last one ended up going south. It ended up yanking at 10:42 right here. Like, we bought in the last one right here at 10:42. It yanked, and it started. I guess you could say the chart flipped, So it was downside that whole time, and then it starts this uptrend. But Sean, he sees this triple top. All the dark side stuff was showing downside. He's checking the 1 minute, the 5 minute chart. A lot of indicators are showing bearish downside. So even with this upside trend, so that's why he ends up averaging down the last time. Instead of like selling the last one at a loss, you know, at 1042, he didn't want to cut it. You know, he was like, I'm not cutting these, so I didn't cut them. So I just kind of listened to him. So at 1042, you know, right here, boom, on this candlestick right here, we bought in. So, you know, at that time, we bought 10. And so instead of selling at a loss, we end up, since it's going up, we're going to just scale in and try to just get 30 total. You know, I didn't double down right away. I just bought 10 at a time. So 1042 is when we entered that first one right here. And then at 1052, right here, we entered again, you know, get a lower average position. And then at 1055, he enters again right here. And so now we've scaled into 30, you know, so we have 30 contracts at that point. So, you know, look what it does. The chart's not going well. You know, we see all this happen. But he knows, or feels like, he didn't 100% knows, because who does, you know? But he just felt like it was definitely going to tank, and at least have some more downside. And we were going to make money. So instead of selling a loss, we averaged down. And then at 1358 right here, the move finally happens. So at 1358 right here. So, you know, I always talk about I want to practice scaling out. Well, I want to practice it because I always watch Sean do it. You know, so this was the perfect opportunity. I had 30 contracts. I was in heavy. And here was my chance. So at 1358, you know, he's like, all right, I'm peeling back 5. So I peeled back 5. Let's go. So right here we sell 5 contracts for 435. You know, my average positions, I think it was like 400 or 403. So right there, you know, I made 35 times 5. Made 175 profit. And, you know, I have less risk now. I don't have 30, you know. It's like, that's awesome to just have less risk. Then 1358, 59. And notice also I did a limit sell in the first 2 scale outs, and I did a market sell in the last 4. And the reason why is because, you know, if I would have done a market sell, I would have only gotten like 410. And I just tried to capture the ask right here at 435 just to see if it would sell, and it did. So 1358.59, I see the ask go to 445. You know, within that same minute at 1358 right here. You know, I see it go up and, you know, peel back 5 more, limit sell 5, 445. So I captured another, you know, 45 times 5 is 225 profit, you know. So now I only have I sold 10, I had 30, so I have 20 contracts left. And then at that point it's dropping, and we just see it keep falling. So we're just like holding these. I mean, contract price is going way up, you know, like these, you know, went from to like literally whenever okay, so this point right here, 10 total round trips, entry and exit, you know, scalping like that. Like here's all the SPY ones, here's all the Tesla ones, like look how many day trades that was. So we were in and out 10 times before this last one that went south. And so these contracts, when we started buying them at 932, they were like 200 something bucks, you know. And look, you know, my average position by the time we had entered and exited, you know, like I sold these at 435. Like they'd already went up 100%. Like, so think about that. Like if you had some 200 puts, $200 puts right here, now they're 400, you know, so that's amazing. And so you know, I don't remember what these market sells were, but they were like, instead of 445 each, like they're like 500, 600 bucks. Like they were way in the money, you know. So Let's see, 1405. Look, we got this big old drop. Like, that was awesome right there. And then we see it kind of go up a little bit. You know, peel back 5. You know, wait a little bit. You know, where they're trying to shake us out. Yep. Drop some more. You know, 1412. Like, it hit this giant, you know, 697 low of the day. Then we see it spike, and that's when, you know, sold 2 more right there. I mean, they were big time in the money at that point. And then 1416. You know, in this big push, that's not looking good. I'm just trying to capture profit, sell 2 more. And then the last one, 14, like, just decided to get out of it, sold the last one in the market. But these were like, I don't remember what they were, but they were like way in the money. So from all that scalping and holding these 30, scaling into 30, then scaled out of 30, 5, then 5, then 5, then 2, then 2, then 1. 4,850 profit. I mean, but that was a 6-hour time frame. So this isn't a normal video where I'm making it in a little bit of time. We had to work for that. And Sean, like, you know, because of using these charts and being able to read it, was able to see that. You know, that's not something that you just learn quick. That's like a lot of knowledge you have to put together. So he just played this perfectly. So hopefully in future videos I'll give you more in-depth analysis on that, you know, this Algo's trading strategy that he has basically. So moving on, that was the Tesla 700 puts, Tesla 710 puts. We played those 3 times, you know, so at 925. Let's see. Right here. So 925, we buy in to 710 puts. And look, it's at 710 on the bottom of this candle, 710.38. The top of this candle, 711.67. So we're buying at the money, like in the money contracts, you know. So the delta is good on these. You know, you can make a lot of money scalping these contracts. So 925.51, we buy it. You know, Sean seeing a downside move. Look, 927. Here's 926. It's already down here. 927. You know, 41. Boom, we sell it. Like, captured some good gains. But it was only 2 that time. So and then at 1221. 1221 right here. 1221, we bought 10. Like, look where it had already dropped this much. And then we buy in right here. So we're in 10. And then at 1224, right here, whenever we see it go green, we sell it. Scale out of 5. So 1224.37, we're out of 5. And then at 1225, we get out of another 5. You know, so just we see it kind of curl up right here. Not trying to do all that, got out of the trade. So, well, actually, look, you know what? I lie. 1225, we're back in. So 1225, we end up re-entering. And then we ended up holding these because look what it did. So at 1225, we sold it both in profit these first 2 times. And then 1225, we're in with 10. We didn't average down or anything, but it ends up going up. All this went up. But Sean, you know, he's like, no, there's more downside. More downside. So just reading everything that he sees on the indicators and TradingView. Fibonacci retracements, you know, like just seeing it go up and down, being able to call that. He saw more downside. So at 1312, so look, 1225, we hold these, you know, and then finally it's going up right here, and then at 1312 it has this big tank, it's going up. Look right here, we peel back 5 in profit. So now we're just riding them, and then at 1348, right here, on this candle right here, we peel back the last 5. So that was a 4-hour trade. We sold 13 for 1344 profit, and that was an awesome trade, you know. So if you look at these times, 1358, 1348, you know, we're playing several things at once. You know, they're happening simultaneously because the 700 puts were so cheap, and then the 710 puts were in the money, and we could like scalp those in and out quick. So that's kind of the logic and rationale behind it. Like Tesla puts, like those 700 puts, anyone who bought those. And shout out to Christina from ACT. I have her post notifications on for Twitter, and she posts some really valuable information. Like we saw her buying into Tesla puts, like, you know, when she has her eye on something. And look, she made $40,000 on Tesla today, so she's like an amazing trader. And she has like a real engineering job too, so she's like a beast, you know. It's crazy. So anyways, that's how the Tesla 710 puts went. You know, shout out to Sean. He really just played these 700 puts and 710 puts amazing. Like 48.50 from the 700 puts, 13.44 on the 710 puts. And then last but not least, these 690 puts. The 448 SPY puts, you know, which is the last thing I'll go over. I'm gonna bring up SPY right here, and you can see how Sean really killed it on this one. And this one, he was really, like, literally, you know, just to bring up the example again, like, seeing it bounce off these lines and just seeing it retrace and just buy here, sell here, you know, see it buy here, sell here. Just kept doing that. It just ended up working out perfect. And, you know, something I noticed is, like, he'll be up, you know, or I'll be up, like, I was up $800 at one point, and, you know, I was like, man, should cut these. I'm like big time in the money. But he, you know, he's like, well, could make like $8,000 if we hold them and see if we can get that next leg down. So it was like a risk versus reward. Sometimes he'd rather break even and risk the profit. Like, he doesn't want to lose money, but he'll risk the profit to make that bigger move. Just something that, you know, I struggle doing. I only really can do it if I just play a trade with him and hold out with him. And, like, y'all would laugh. Like, it's pretty funny. I'm like, I'm up this much, like, should I sell it? You know, he's like, no, you know, like, I'm holding mine. And so I'm like, all right. And sure enough, like, man, I end up, you know, holding it with him and getting these big moves sometimes where I'm just like, wow, I would have sold it thousands of dollars ago in profit, you know. So it's really amazing to see, and that's what I'm really trying to learn. I'll get there one day, and Sean's willing to teach me because he knows I'm not an idiot, and I will pick up on it sooner or later. But for now, it's a work in progress, and I'm learning so much every day from him, just trying to put it together. And believe me, I'm very grateful that I can mimic his trades. You know, several people have said, you're lucky to have Sean next to you helping you do your trades. Yeah, I am. You're right. I'm super lucky that I have a badass trader sitting right next to me that happens to be my best friend, helping me, teaching me, you know. So shout out to Sean, incredible friend, incredible trader. And this is the last trade I'm going to go over. I know this is a very long video. So these were SPY 448 puts, 9/3/21 expiration. You know, on this, I did 10 total round trips, entry and exit, scalping from 12:48 to 14:59. So, you know, all in all, this was a 3-hour trade. And then, you know, kind of same scenario right here. I, you know, scalped it 10 different times. And then this one, you know, one ended up going south, but like Sean saw more downside, and instead of selling it, we scaled into 30, and then scaled out of 25, and we ended up swinging 5 because he thinks these are actually going to pay big. You know, he thinks it's going to gap down during pre-market after hours time, and we'll be able to sell these at market open and at profit, you know. So that was kind of the game plan for this, you know, day trade turned swing trade, basically. But it started at 12:48. So to go over it, let's see what SPY was doing at that time. So yeah, guys, like Sean doesn't watch these charts on TD. Like, he could care less what this looks like. This doesn't show him anything. He's on TradingView on 30-second real-time charts and has dark sides indicators since he's in his class. So that's what he's looking at to make these entries and exits. So just be aware of that. It's hard to see what he sees on these charts, even though it's the same data. So 12:48 was the first time right here. So right here was the first time he entered. And look, these are puts, right? So just remember that. We're looking for downside moves. So he entered the first time right here. So boom, we're in. I get in. 12:48, we buy 10. You know, he's seen more downside. 12:55. So right here, look, and something he's really good at is, like, it pops up. We're buying puts, remember that, right? So it pops up like that, and like he buys the puts as it's going up. You have to remember, like, something that he always fusses at me about, which is true, is like whenever I'm entering a downside puts move, it's like already tanking. It passes AJ's line, and that's good, but like he's like, man, wait for pullback and then buy the puts, you know. And inverse for calls, he's like, dude, you're buying into the strength when calls are super expensive. No wonder you have a horrible fill. And it's because I try to get out so fast and just try to capture the momentum and move. But he really reiterates how, you know, dangerous that is, how the risk versus reward's horrible. And I should really try to get a better entry. And it's possible with a market sell, just if there's a tight spread. And if you time it right. So just remember that, guys. So at 12:55. I sell it, you know. 12:48, I get in right here, so it's at 447.59, and then at 12:55, right here, I sell it 447.47, and so 12:58, 13:03. So right here I buy it, and look at this giant downside move. So I buy it right here at 447.65 at the top, and then I sell it. So that was at 12:58, then at 13:03. Look how much it fell. Boom, like captured. Like, guys, SPY doesn't move a lot of points. Like, it's more of like 10th and 100th increments. So that was a big drop. You know, like literally made money on every single one of these. And, you know, he just would buy it at the perfect time to where, like, literally within seconds we're already even. It was nuts. Just timing it correctly. So remember, entry is key. So 13:16, we wait again for a good entry. Right here, he buys it again on this candle, you know, and like obviously he's like buying it when it's going the opposite direction to get a good fill price. So since we're in puts, he waits for it to pop up a little bit, then we're in. So at 13:20, we sell it right here. Look at the bottom, and look what it does. Boom. So like literally captured this whole thing. He exited perfectly because he saw it was about to bounce on the 30-second chart, you know. And look at 13:21 right here. Look at right here, he sees it go up right here. We get in again, and look, he literally captured the top. He was like nailing these entries today. It was insane. So 13:21, he's in right here, and then at 13:27 on this candlestick at the bottom, we sold it, you know. So we made this move right here to this move right here. So it was very, very solid move. Then we're back in at 13:28, like on this big push. We captured literally Whenever it hit this high top, we're back in the puts, and then 1327. So 1321 to 1327 was one trade, and then 1328 we're back in right here at the top, and we hold that one till 1327. All right, here we sell it at the bottom, so 1328 to 1331. So like we buy right here, and here's 1331, we sold it right here, and then again at 1332 to 1335. So we bought it at the top right here, and then sold it at 1335 at the very bottom. Like he was nailing entry and exit. It was crazy. So you know, that's already 7, you know. 1335, we're back in. Nailed the top right there. 1344. Got to down here. Then 1340, we're back in. 1349. So 1349. What did it do? Okay, 1349's right here. So like we bought it at the top, 1349, and then at 1418 it went all the way down. We're big time in the money. Then look, so look, you see how like all this is downside. We could have captured good profit right here, but you know, Sean is willing to let it see if the Fibonacci retracement right here was actually going to drop again. You know, but right here we ended up cutting him, still in the profit. But look, so my point is from right here to right here, you know, like we could have made all that gain, right? But my point is he's willing to risk this much profit because at this time, like, we're heavy in the money. But he risked this much profit from here to here to see if it was going to retrace and go down more. But it didn't, so we sold it and got out. So that was the logic and rationale behind this last trade. You know, if you end up analyzing this, you'll see, well, why didn't you sell it at the bottom right here? That's why he's trying to risk profit to see if it might make a next leg down off the Fibonacci retracement, you know. And if we see it break, you know, a certain line on that chart, we get out or we get in. You know, you just kind of manage the trade accordingly. So the last trade right here is the same puts again, but instead of selling it, you know, it went south, but he still saw more downside. So now we're scaling in and we're gonna average down. So we bought 3 times together at 1422 right here, and then at 1431 on this big push. And you have to remember, like, at 1422 we're buying it at the top. You know, we're making sure we get a good fill. And then at 1431, buying at the top. And then 1438, we bought it at the top. So, you know, I kind of remember this. Like, we didn't, like, I remember we ended up not really getting that much better of an average position. And I'm like, dude, the price isn't even that much cheaper. He's like, doesn't matter. Like, he wanted to load into these. So regardless, you know, like, we didn't want to average up, but like, it wasn't that much of a better average position. But then on this third one, we did get a slightly better one at 1438 right here. You know, so, and then at 1447, you know, at the very bottom, we sold 10 right here. And then at 1455, sell another 10. And then at 1459, like, literally 1 minute before market close. But SPY trades 15 minutes after. But we sold the last 5 1 minute before the rest of the whole market, other than SPY, closed. You know, so there's only 1 minute left. And instead of selling 10, because, you know, Sean thinks we should swing some SPY puts, you know, so we kept 5 open, average position at 384, so we'll see how that does tomorrow. So that was a 3-hour trade, and, you know, up 740 from the unclosed positions, and then these 5 that we have open are still up like $55. So we'll see where that goes. And then we didn't day trade this, but we saw Christina swinging some Tesla 690 puts. Sean agreed, like he thinks it's gonna gap down. We'll see if he's right. You know, so they both were saying, so I was like, oh, we're getting in that. 3 of them, though, you know, not expensive, 188. You know, I think AJ had even mentioned, you know, like, buy some with whatever you're willing to lose. You know, it might not be a bad idea. He did caution everyone to not go long, swing anything long. Like, if anything, buy puts. He specifically said that. So, hope him, Sean, and Christina are right. You know, they probably are, hopefully. They know a lot more than me, and so 188 times 3 is only 564 buying power, $564 to swing that, you know, and then 384 times 5 is 1920, so $2,000 to swing these, you know, so little risk, 2,500 to potentially make quite a bit of money if it gaps down. You know, those contracts will be worth a lot of money. So yeah, 46-minute video. This is a really long video. It's because I had 50 day trades today, and I had to go over Morning Bell and then how Sean traded it, and, you know, go over the notes. So sorry for making it so lengthy. I hope y'all had a good day trading. I'm glad my day ended well, you know, thanks to Sean and his amazing strategy, and something I hope I can learn and start to nail, and just become a better day trader. So hope y'all have a good one. It's late. I'm gonna go to bed, wake up early. Sean's gonna be here in like 6 hours. So hope y'all have a good day trading, and we'll try to make another one either tomorrow or sometime next week. Y'all have a good one.